Okay. Hi everybody. How you doing this evening? Um, Gone live tonight because there's a lot of stuff we need to kind of pick up and spin these last few days. Um, as we speak, if you're a big fan of the World Cup, the Norwegians are beating the Iraqis 3-1 in the 80th minute, and it looks like they're going to get the 2 points. That's probably going to put Iraq out of the next rounds. We'll see how that plays out in their group. Um, so I wanted to just get online because there are a lot of things going on I think we need to address. Excuse me. And as you can see in the title of this live, it's what's next. Because let's be honest, I'm watching Trump at the G7. He's arrived after his birthday party at the G7, and wow, he ain't looking good. And there's a what next coming for all of us because I think that's going to come sooner than they think. Um, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about we're going to do a kind of review of the last few days, especially what happened on Saturday in on the lawn of the on the White House lawn and the debacle that was. But I also want to discuss wow, the World Cup and how that's made America look. And there's a lot, and anything that comes up along the way. So the first thing I want to talk about, let's do a quick review of what we saw on Saturday. Now on Saturday, the Knicks won the NBA championship. Congrats to all you Knicks fans. They finished it in 5. But on that same night, Trump had his birthday party, which we paid for to have a UFC fight that was as basically trailer trash as you can get. I mean, and aside from turning our nation's capital, the house, the people's house, the White House, into I don't know, um, a just an abomination to man with the cage and all that. You had, I guess, near the Lincoln Memorial, they set up screens for those common people to watch because there was no real fans in that audience. Okay, there wasn't. That audience was nothing but Trump sycophants, his cabinet, and all the rich people he does business with. Also, his crypto coin was advertised, and there's going to be investigations the um, once the House gets the Democrats take the House because there seems to be some money changing hands as usual. Okay, it was what it was. I mean, it was a UFC fight on the lawn where all the common folk that loved Trump showed up. They got drunk and started to beat on one another. Whatever. I mean, literally, it was an episode of Cops. That's what I saw. An episode of Cops. You know, the only thing. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was what it was. It was everything we thought. And these guys think this is what represents American culture. Really, this is the type of stuff that they say represents American culture. This is America. Okay, alrighty. Now, and then Dana White, who lost $30 million on this puppy, man, you really must love Trump, said that he figures that this brought the country together. Really? When one of your fighters insulted Michelle Obama? I mean, it was just gross. It was disgusting. It was. it was beneath us, honestly. It really was beneath us as Americans. And I want to put this in perspective to what's going on in this country with the World Cup. I was not optimistic with the World Cup coming to the United States, basically because of immigration, the DHS, things that I said before about people coming to the U.S. You know, even a year ago, Vance said, "Hey, you can come, but make sure you leave." The new DHS secretary, the guy who has two first names. Anyone who has two first names has got issues. Okay, Mark Wayne. What? Your parents were indecisive? I mean, I'm watching the new show, The Duttons, on Paramount Plus. Yeah, I know, but I still like the show. But they have a character named Rob Will, who's probably going to be the evil guy in this, so he's looking that way. So, I mean, Mark Wayne, really? Okay, well, anyway, so he had already said in one of his videos that they were ready for the World Cup, not welcoming people, but his video was like, yeah, we're ready for their crime, for their human trafficking, for the evil goods. Yeah, we're going to take care of it. ICE will be everywhere to make sure they stay in line. And I'm thinking, fuck, this is going to be a total disaster. All right? Total disaster. I mean, they're going to harass the people here. Already, there were people who couldn't get their visas. They wouldn't let a referee in. They wouldn't let team members in. I mean, it was everything they could to make us look bad. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. And then I saw what happened when the Scots arrived in Boston. Now, there was a controversy. Scots, a few people did not get in. They lost money for some reason or not. But they arrived. And I'm like, and all of a sudden, they lit the place up. Americans welcomed it. They brought their own music, dude. They brought their own theme music. Have you ever seen that movie, that comedy, Orange Juice in the Hood, where one of the black actors was really known. He goes, a good hero always brings his own theme music and has a band behind him. The Scots did that, okay, and they went to a Boston Red Sox game and marched. Hey Barry, how you doing, bro? And marched down to Fenway Park with full regalia and the marching song that I've heard. And I'm like going, wow. And everyone's enjoying themselves. They're getting along. I mean, the Haitians who were there were welcomed. They were welcomed by the community. Make sure you don't get cut, Barry. They were welcomed by the community. There was no incidents. I saw that march. I go, watch, someone's going to call ICE, and everyone freaked out. Why would I think that? Because why not? For the last year and a half, we've been hearing nothing but xenophobic bullshit. We've watched citizens being murdered on our street by immigration. Okay? We've seen people get picked up. Fuck, today they picked up a guy who had spoken badly about ICE. Was one of the observers. They arrested him, took him away. They don't have that right. They do not have that power to do that. And it's a violation of his First Amendment rights. And then we had the story the other day where Stephen Miller wanted to get rid of habeas corpus for everyone who's an immigrant. And during the protests in Minnesota in the winter, J.D. Vance said, hey, and Stephen Miller was right there like his little puppy. Hey, let's do the Insurrection Act and send the military in there to stop them. So, I'm watching all this thinking, great, these people are just going to be lambs to the slaughter. They're going to come in here and Americans are going to fuck with them, call ICE. And I saw that we're not ICE. In Lawrence, Kansas, they welcomed the Algerians, Martin family, the Haitians in Boston, the Scots. Here in Georgia, they're having a ball down here. They discovered a Waffle House. All right, Cape Verde, a small, tiny little country that got qualified into the World Cup, who tied Spain. Spain, juggernaut, huge. If you know, you know. They tied them for a 0-0 tie. Great game. That 40-year-old guy put us all to shame. He just everywhere. They're dancing in the middle of Centennial Park in Georgia, in Atlanta. It was great. In Kansas, they're welcomed in Lawrence, Kansas. In all the cities that World Cup fans have come, Americans have welcomed them. Even Iranians have been welcomed. Even all have been welcomed by people around them. Why? Because we're not our fucking government. Yeah, there's 30% of us who are scumbags. Pretty much. That's what MAGA is. I mean, if you're a supporter of MAGA still to this day, if you make excuses for the president and everything and the things they do, okay, we know where you're coming from, because everything it's done has not helped this country. Economically, socially, we've been fucking miserable. How can you be happy when you're always looking over your shoulder? You're waiting for the next thing to happen. When you look at the gas pump and it's it's $4 plus a gallon of gas, where people are struggling, it was like no one's been happy. And then everyone showed up. And in Atlanta, this German guy showed up in a Waffle House in Atlanta near the stadium and asked for 14 waffles. And the lady's like, "You sure?" He goes, "Yeah." And he ate them. And all of a sudden, that Waffle House has got people around the line lined up. In my lifetime, and I've been in the South for the last 20 years, never seen a line get into a Waffle House. Never, ever, ever. You can always get into a Waffle House 24/7 and no problem. And I'm like, wow. And then if you see what's going in the Scots in Boston, man, they're good for business. And the people around them are saying it uplifted them. They're sorry. They're going to be sorry when they leave because they brought something they haven't seen in a while. What is that? Happiness, joy, carefree. I mean, I'm watching, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. Of course, you have the stupidity of what happened in Los Angeles, where the LAPD shooting a dog. They came at him a doodle. You have that stupidity, and you still have a few people who are going to make it bad. But you have to compare that to what we saw on Saturday with at UFC fight. That was miserable. That was gross. It gave you no joy. It just watching the game. You don't even have to be a fan of soccer not to enjoy it. I am. My kids played it. It's been part of our life since the 90s when they were young and played it. And they still love the game. They still watch it. And there's there's a joy to it that we haven't had in a long damn time. All right? No, it's been so depressing. And even if you say MAGA will come on. No, it was the president's. You guys are miserable. You guys are always complaining. You guys are always upset. You're not happy. You're never happy unless you're screaming and yelling. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That given a chance where we're not told by our government to mess, our government messes with our lives for a moment, just for this time right now, we are Americans again. We are welcoming. We are welcoming people here again. And we're having a good time. And we're laughing. And I'm watching these people just have a good time. I mean, I'm just like, and being welcome, and it's like eating American fast food, which is not a good idea, guys. Okay? But as one video blogger did a couple minutes ago, a creator said, all that food they were eating, barbecue, Mexican, you know, even is influenced by cultures. You see what I'm saying? That dead white thing we saw on Saturday is not America. People welcoming others and introducing them to what they do and their culture is America. It's been taken over and perverted by people who use fear for power. And we let them get away with it. And we're being shown right now, this is the worst thing for MAGA and the Trump regime. It's the worst thing. Because now people are being reminded, oh, we can welcome people and be happy. We can share and be happy. We can think about stuff other than hating somebody or worry about everything else. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I mean, it's going to be sad to see some of these people go after the group games. A lot of the fandom may leave. All right. Oh, by the way, Norway just dropped another goal on Iraq. They're done. So a quick break. If you're watching this, please like it and go ahead and send it out, share it. I would like to, because we're going to talk about a lot of stuff here for the next hour or so, and that's just gross. You know what? That's just gross. There's always one. Like I said, there's always one. But I hope you guys, if you're seeing this, see what I'm saying here. Again, share and like. I would appreciate it, especially share this. This is what we're going to talk about a couple things. So, but it's fun. And I'm watching, it's just inclusive. It makes you feel good. Makes you feel good. And we have not been allowed to feel good. We haven't. They've been, the Trump regime and everything, every damn day has made this so hard to be who we are, really. Honestly. That's the thing. No one, I mean, we forgot. So hopefully, this is going to be a shot in the arm for people. And so, again, like it. If you're willing to give me some gifts, it'd be great. Just anything to kind of keep this going. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. So during the UFC debacle and that whole thing, yeah, well, they do, because that's all they have left in their life. Barry, the hardest thing about MAGA is that they've never been happy. They've never figured out how to be happy in their lives. And a lot of it may be outside because their economic status or anything, or they fear the other so much. Because remember, the caravans and all that, it's all been that way. So it's just really tough to get to them because they have to hold on to it. Case in point, all these vanity things are bad enough, and Trump is ripping us off left and right. Through his his grift. But the biggest thing was the reflecting pool. And the reflecting pool needs a filtration system. Okay, it's still water. Still water will attract insects, it will attract algae. If it warms up, that's what you get. Okay. So instead of dealing with the problem, Trump for some reason decided he's going to paint this thing blue, painted so it becomes blue, like a pool at a pool in a in a hotel, which is not what it was about. It was supposed to reflect the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. They reflected off the pool, okay, and also was for reflection, okay, memories, respect, okay, which was all pissed away because they had a weigh-in in front of the fucking Lincoln Memorial, which was like, oh my God. I still see that. It was just ridiculous. And it was just low. Just low. Low, low, low. So, so when they painted it, first of all, it cost $14 million more than it should. Apparently Trump took some money from it. Also, it looks like the person that got it wasn't even vetted. He didn't even know what to do. He just painted the bottom of it with paint. So what happens is that adds to the heat. And as soon as they put water back in, yeah, it was blue for a while. Then poof, algae blooms. If you've owned any kind of pool, especially like a stand-up pool, okay, like a Coleman or like a one of those things, you got to filter your water. You got to filter your water and use chemicals to keep it going, but filter the water. Move the water. If the water moves and you run it through a filter, that's what happens. And that keeps it kind of clear. But it bloomed. Boy, did it bloom. It's totally green now. And the problem with it is, like, you could solve it by fixing the filtration system. Alrighty? What they did is they're now pouring hydrogen peroxide or chlorine, pool chemicals, to kill the algae so it turns blue again. Yeah, that's going to last for how long? If you're not moving the water or filtering the water, fixing the filtration system that was there, you could end up with green quickly. It's just a dumb move. But the worst thing about it is Fox News just keeps going there saying, look, it's blue. That's literally 1984. If I tell you I'm holding up, I tell you I'm holding up 4 fingers and tell you it's 5, Big Brother says it's 5, what are you going to say? I mean, you get my point? So it's just like, and then they had some dude show up in front of the pool and saying it's green. It turned green so quickly. Why did that happen? Why is it so green all of a sudden? Because I'll tell you why. The Democrats did it. That's right. Damn liberals threw something and turned it green. Then he did interviews with some people around and go, yeah, they did it. I don't understand why it turns green. I don't get it. The hell? And that's what we're dealing with. Okay? But it's just that's what we're dealing with every day. Okay? But we also have to look at a lot of this, what's going on, guys. You see that the name of this is What's Next. Let's face it. Donald Trump don't look good. He does not look good. If you hear him speak, it's not a stutter, but he's struggling to speak. His face is puffy and fallen to a bit. He fell asleep through UFC. Like he fell asleep at the basketball game 3 in New York of the finals. He's now, after all that, he could barely walk. You see him walking to the when they were announcing about the big horns and all that, and he was walking through. Dana White had to help him. Okay, now he's at the G7, and he's not looking good. He can walk. He walks like this. Okay. He can't shake hands. He went and started holding hands with the French president's hey, how you doing, Shane? French president's wife, and tried to get her to help him lead around. They were having a question and answer. He got this, and he drifted off. They had to bring him back. He's sitting with the other G7 guys, people, leaders. Like he was talking to the Italian prime minister. Now, let me make it clear. The Italian prime minister is a far right, very conservative woman. They're far right. But they say we're far right, but we're not fascist. Although they still have a lot of immigration issues to deal with. And he, and she, it's just, you could see he's talking to her and she's just like, I got to get away from this. So they're sitting at the table. Now, this is to talk international economics, talk about policy, talk about the Iranian war that he started, which we're going to touch. And they start talking, and all of a sudden Trump's talking about the UFC fight, telling that the UFC is a good investment. And everyone's some people are just going, they're just sitting there, yeah. And then you could see the Italian leader like just rolling her eyes. She wants no. And I was reading before I came on with you guys that that a lot of the G7 are just whatever you say. Yeah, whatever you say. They just don't want to mess with him anymore because they don't know what's wrong. They know he's not worth it. Understand, he is not well. And you could see it. The way he speaks, the way he acts, the way he interacts. It's not good. And that's why you see a lot of people around him scrambling to do stuff, scrambling to explain what he's trying to do, doing stuff on their own, okay? And one of them is J.D. Vance. They're trying to push J.D. Vance up, okay? They're trying to push J.D. Vance up so he can take the reins because it's going to come sooner than they want, okay? But they try and push it, but it's failing, all right? And one of the biggest failures you're seeing right now, this Iranian deal or whatever peace trio memo of understanding is not going to go well. Now, Barricades, I think Vance is trying to get in because he can't distance himself because he'll lose the base. But he doesn't understand the base hates his fucking ass anyway. Okay? And the Maybelline man is not going to take over really well. Okay? Because he's going to have a lot of people around him pushing hard. Trust me, the Project 2025 people in Heritage Foundation are panicking. They're panicking because they're trying to get as much as they can done. ICE, to an extent, is panicking. And they're panicking more because some congressmen against, I'm pretty sure, the DNC memos have already said, we're going to take the House. And when we take the House, it's going to start from day one, investigations. We're dragging it all in. We're going to put the light on all of it. Because, let's be honest, even if they take both houses of Congress, he's still going to be president. He still can veto stuff, okay? So they can't really do much anything. They could propose, let's like raise the minimum wage. They'll have to because they can't get around the budget yet. They really have, he was on The View. That was dumb. What was he trading eyeliner hints with The View? What a dumbass. And what the Democrats will have to do is just basically bring this out to light, bring on the Epstein thing. If you haven't heard already, there's a book coming on, but from Harbinger, Mary Harbinger, who's been Trump's kind of like shadow, and they're coming out with things. I told you I mentioned what happened with Vance and Miller about the Insurrection Act and getting rid of habeas corpus. That's an excerpt from the book. that she's printing out, that she's releasing. But here's the thing. Part of it's because they have a hold. It's a good bet. They're saying, not saying they do, but they're not saying they don't. A live recording of a meeting in the White House in the Situation Room to discuss how they cover up for Trump in the Epstein files. And this was done before Pam Bondi lost her job. Done before Kash Patel said, "No, we're not doing anything. We're not covering up." All right. Now, yeah, that's what worries me about that, Asgard, about the Israeli military and our military joining. They get our intelligence. This is a product of AIPAC. Okay, this is a product of black money. Okay, and Pete Hegseth, who is a joke. You know, it's funny. I was again, follow me because I will scatter. On YouTube, you can get books on audio books. I don't know if I said books and tape. Okay, audiobooks. But this one was done by someone who just did it. He read Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers. And I read the book as a kid. Seen the movie, but the movie's nothing like the book. Okay, the book is totally different. And I'm listening to the book for the first time in years. Okay. And it was Heinlein's. It's funny because I told someone years ago, Heinlein wrote a book that kind of is neo-fascist. And also he wrote the biggest hippie book ever in Stranger in a Strange Land. I mean, just amazing on his writing. Yeah, I wish the Starship Troopers movie is a guilty pleasure. It is what it is. But they should remake the movie because I was listening to it, I remember parts. But there's one thing they talk about where the main character, John Enrico, is going through OCS, Officer Candidate School. And he's about to go up on his first mission as a third lieutenant. In other words, he's there to prove that he can be an officer. But the one thing that military does, the mobile infantry as they call themselves, they never let anyone be an officer that has not been in combat, has not fought, has not stood next to someone and fought, not knowing that what's going to happen with consequences to fight. Okay, and they instill in there that you're becoming an officer to serve the greater good, to serve your community, to serve your people, including giving up your life if you have to. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that I watched Pete Hegseth, who's never been a true military man, who's never been in a combat situation, who's never led men in a combat situation, who's now the Secretary of Defense, who wants to call himself the Secretary of War because it does well for his ego. And he keeps trying to prove that he's a soldier. The problem is, when you're the Secretary of Defense, you're supposed to not be a soldier, you're supposed to administrate everything for the United States defense. You're not supposed to do what he's doing. You're not supposed to run around and do PT. I saw what he did, and it looked horrid. That was embarrassing. But you don't have to do it. You shouldn't do it. Your job is to be behind the desk. Your job is to keep up the morale. Your job is to make sure our people who protect this country get what they need. Okay? But here's the thing. There's already rumors that they're taking the money that comes out of someone's paycheck for the room and board, there's their food, and it's disappearing. There's grift. He's not doing his job. He's lying to you when he's doing his job. All right, he tries to be more than what he is, and what you are as an administrator to look out for America as a Secretary of Defense. And that's what I thought about that when I listened to this book. that was written in the 50s, okay? Or the 60s. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. Talking about the importance as an officer to serve not only your men, but the greater good. And that's what we have right now. To be not only in the military, but in public service is to serve the greater good, not yourself. The problem is politics has turned into that. Serve yourself. Mitch McConnell is still in the hospital. He's in a Kentucky hospital. And if you want someone with that much power who did nothing for the American people and his people in Kentucky, it's Mitch McConnell. And if you want to know why the Supreme Court is what it is, look up Mitch McConnell. Okay. It's going well. GI, thank you. So, and he enriched himself to millions. He was not a millionaire when he first came Senator of Kentucky. Now he is. And those people in Kentucky who keep voting for him and don't have literally a pot to piss in, keep voting for him. Same thing in South Carolina. What has Lindsey Graham done for you? Nothing. But he's a good chance he'll win that Senate seat again. That's disturbing. He does nothing for you but lick the boots of Donald Trump. So, I mean, that's the thing. People, I mean, that's one thing they were talking about elections, that in the book, the only people who can vote are citizens who have been through the military because they have perspective of the greater good. I mean, I don't agree with it. A lot of that the stuff that he said in the book is something I don't agree with. But I will tell you, the idea of social responsibility is something like Kennedy talked about and other people talk. I mean, ask not what you can do for your country, not ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And it doesn't mean social services. Government should help you out. Okay. What he's talking about, get vaccinated. Look out for your neighbor. Those things. Okay. I mean, don't be hateful. All right. Look, I mean, that's what you should be in the society. But this idea of, freedom and rights got perverted. Why? Because those who wanted the power used it, fear to use it. I mean, it's the truth. And that's what's going on now, though. People are realizing that they've been lied to. Okay? And one of the biggest lies is, we can't afford Medicare for all. Nah, the deficit, no, that'd be too much for the deficit. That has been a lie we've been fed for years. Before that, it was a bunch of communist bullshit or socialism bullshit. All right. But the point is, they've been saying that, and there's a great video of a town hall of, a Missouri congressman, typical Republican, big fat dude with glasses. And this guy stands up and he looks like he's been through the ringer. He goes, hey, why can't we have Medicare for all for the working people? I mean, the system's in there. Just make it younger, and then we can use that money to help everybody out. And that fat fuck goes on there and goes, we can't afford it. Mike Keller, yeah, we can't afford it. That's it. That's his answer. Okay, the problem now, though, you could sell that. Can't sell it now. You can't afford it. Yeah, but you can afford $60 million for a UFC fight. $15 million for a reflecting pool that was not fixed properly. Millions of dollars to put gold in the White House or on the statues. Okay. $1 billion a day for the Iranian war. Close to $100 billion pissed away. Okay. $300 billion they're going to give the Iranians, to reopen the Strait of Hormuz when we didn't have that problem when you kept the Obama deal. The only reason we are in this mess is Trump wanted to make sure that Obama take part of Obama because he's jealous, and that costs us money. And so as soon as Netanyahu sold that to him, that don't worry, it'll be fine. And you can, and I tell you, there's probably no one to bring up, but I tell you that's part of the discussion. People, you know how to get to Donald Trump. Fuck, the Iranians have psychologists know how to get to Trump when these negotiations. And I know Netanyahu said, though, this will make you get the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, they're going to rearm. Asgard's right. They're going to rearm. They're going to be more brutal because let me kind of back up before this all started. Okay? Aside from him cutting the deal off, before this all started, there were problems already with the standing Iranian government. Okay? Economic problems, social problems. 2 years ago, the religious police executed a woman for not wearing her hijab, a young woman. There were riots by women in the streets for months. Unfortunately, a lot of them were murdered harshly, and that kind of, but it disappeared. But the feelings were still there. Okay, the rich were really rich there. Okay, it hadn't changed. The clerics were making money. The oil people were making money. The poor were not getting what they were. The middle class was not working. Okay, hence before the war started, you had the protest. Okay, and yes, the RGC and the local police were being harsh on him, but it wasn't working for him because it just spread more protest. The government was on the verge of having to figure out how they're going to change. The pressure was on. Okay, so in comes us and the Israelis. The Israelis lied to Trump. They said Mossad had told them, hey, if you take off the leadership, then the people will rise up and then we can have our ways with them. The problem what you did is that you bombed civilians, you bombed a school, killed thousands of Iranians. We won't even know the truth till years later. And yeah, you took off the top of the government. The problem is the next level stepped in, including the son of the Ayatollah, whose family we wiped out. Wife, kids, dad, mom, all of it. Gone. And the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, is now more radical than before. They are not happy. And that's why they know now the original deal with Obama kept the Strait of Hormuz open as international waters. Okay? They didn't charge you. They just did business. That's it. It just went through. Everything's fine. It was monitoring the nuclear. That was done. International monitors. But because Donald Trump can't stand the Obamas, hence what you saw on Saturday, trust me, Donald Trump loved that guy. And that guy, by the way, from what I'm hearing, the Obama's about to file a lawsuit on his ass. They're going to make his life a living fucking hell, which they should. A scumbag. He really was. He's the epitome of bad. And he's about to pay for it. Okay? But this war was done, okay, that's good. This war was done because he's jealous. Trump was jealous of Barack Obama. He's hated Obama for years. I mean, when he made film at the one correspondence dinner, it just blew his mind. How dare you? Everyone loves me. And that's the one thing about Trump right now. He is so desperate for people to worship him and to love him, to make him everything about him. So he announced after this debacle that they're going to have on 4th of July a Trump rally, the 250th anniversary. He's going to do a speech. They're going to have fireworks. But it's not going to be about America. It's going to be about him. Again. That's not what the 250 celebrations was about. That's not what it was established to do. We're all Americans. We all are part of this. But nope. No, no, no. It's about me. I'm America. I mean, fuck, Trump probably thought he was across the Delaware with fucking, um, with George Washington. And you can't say anything bad about him because now, and now it gets even better. And now, um, he can't, he doesn't, he's just, now you can't say anything bad of him or they continue Antifa. Talk to Todd Blanchard today. What's Antifa? Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, they arrested a guy who had been posting about ICE and he's one of the observers. He's been arrested. They're going after people for that. They're going after social media for that. Why? Because he's a fucking snowflake. And that's what dying fascist regimes do. They go after people who oppose them because they know the jig is up. The jig's up. Like I said, they paid for all this. And you can't sell to us, you cannot give us health care or SNAP. No, we're not buying that. Oh, yeah, well, those people are fraud. That's why the economy is what it is. Mike Johnson just said, hey, we take the House, no more Social Security. Fuck you, Medicare people and Medicaid. You paid in the system? Yeah, well, that's our money now, bitch. That's what it is. We have to control it. No, fuckers. You need to balance the taxes for it. And it's my money. If you're going to end Social Security, I want my check. I want the money I paid into the system. That's how an annuity works. Either I get the money in time, or if you cancel it, I get my lump sum. That's the way it works. Okay? That's just the truth. That's honestly, it is what it is. But that's what they want. Republicans have been selling you this bullshit forever. And now, right now in Georgia, there is let's see here. There is a primary election, a Republican primary election for those who are going to run for Senate and governor. Okay? From what I could see in Governor Rick Jones or whoever he is, who is a rich asshole, says he's mini-me Trump, who made his money in healthcare, is running, and he's another one of those, if you're brown, you got to go. We don't believe in immigration, and we're going to make sure Georgia protects itself from immigrants. Whatever. On the Senate side, looks like Mike Collins is going to beat Derek Dooley. It doesn't matter. You're going to get eaten alive by John Ossoff, because John Ossoff actually is a politician, is a good man who cares about Georgia. All the campaigning in Georgia on the Republican side is those who have been endorsed by Trump. He loves me. I'm going to support Trump, everything he wants. But you're supposed to serve the people of Georgia. But no, Trump loves you and do anything Trump tells you to do. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to serve your constituents. Okay? And look out for America. But they don't. Republicans don't. They have come to office saying, I'll do everything Trump. This is the sad thing about Republican voters. You voted for people who said they're going to support Trump because you're a Trump voter. And when they do at the expense of you, you get pissed. Now you're going, what about us? What about you? You told me to do this. I did it. That's the thing. And that's how they're running. They're running on the same crap. Culture wars. And if you want to know how that works, look at Texas. Okay? James Tallarico is a good man. And he's a smart man. He'll be a good senator. Okay? He will look out for the people of Texas no matter what side of the aisle you sit. no matter your religion, no matter your beliefs or your sex, your gender, all of it. Ken Paxton is Ken Paxton. And he's proved that to you over and over again. He has been arrested. He has been charged federally and locally in Texas for being a criminal, for being basically taking your money. He should have been he should have been impeached in the House, in the state House, but they won't do it. And his wife is divorcing him, and is divorcing him because of biblical reasons. He's horrible. He's not a good man. But that guy got up on the podium the other day and says, we're going to win this with our policies. Tallarico has no problem with policies. I do. What policy? Make sure I get everything I want? I mean, and here's the thing. Tallarico's only leading by 3%. That tells you everything about Republican voters. I mean, good God almighty, really? This man is a criminal. He has a fucking, like the president, a fucking mugshot. And you all just go with the flow because there's an R. Look at the man. And look how they're campaigning about Tallarico. They're making fun of the way he looks. Really? I mean, Stephen Miller, you saw that bullshit of calling him transgender? Timu Nesferatu. Okay? Really? First of all, I'm still wondering how you bred. Okay? And two, stay the fuck out of it. Because we know what you say. He once sat in... Because he's Republican, Perot. Because Tallarico actually was reading out parts of Matthew and the Sermon on the Mount. Okay? You know what the lieutenant governor of Texas said? He said that's anti-Christian. He said that. Yeah, he said that. Could you imagine that? The words of Christ were not Christian. Why? Because it doesn't fit their standards. I could do a fucking 2-hour thing on religion and belief. And I'm a Christian. But what they've done, evangelicals have done to Christianity is just disgusting. And this goes back for decades, years, revival tents, the 30s. You always had these people pop up and rip you off. And they're not men of God, they're men of themselves. Truth. Always. Why do you have a mega church? So I'm going to say, who do you serve other than the preacher? And they make money. I mean, what's that show on HBO with John Goodman about the mega church people? I started watching it, then I stopped watching it. You know why? Because it's too fucking real. There's the Righteous Gemstones. There you go. There's a scene in the early season where they're getting all the donations and they're counting the money. It looked like a scene from Miami Vice, counting the drug money. And John Goodman's character is sitting there staring, smiling. Okay? And they have big houses and they have this and that. And people still can't afford health insurance or can't afford to eat. I mean, and this is the Christianity that Ken Paxton represents, with all his, it's just horrid stuff. Okay, John Tallarico, be honest, in a few things, only a few people in my life, I could truly say have been men of God. Very few. One of them being my mom. God rest her soul. Okay. The other one being a preacher I had in my own Methodist church. Now we didn't even call him pastor. We call him brother. I mean, he was touched by God. You could tell. Okay. just the way he talked and the way he spoke and the way he interacted with us. But, and Tellerico, I don't know him personally, but he has that feel to me, okay? That he's going to serve God and the people of Texas through God in him, okay? And I think he's a better, and a lot of people were disappointed when Jasmine Crockett didn't win, but here's the thing. Jasmine Crockett would have been a better match for Ken Paxton because they would have concentrated on all the things that come with the caricatures of a black woman. Jasmine Crockett, if she's given a high office, like any kind of office in the next administration, like hell, I'd make her the attorney general and set her loose. Set her loose. That's the job she needs. To set her loose. All right. But in that type of election, most of the Texans would have probably voted for Paxton and held her nose because of how Kamala Harris lost. No, Hillary Clinton, it wasn't because of what that Joe Biden should have stepped aside. Stop that bullshit. We all know why Kamala Harris lost. Period. End discussion. I'm tired of the evaluation. The evaluation is simple. People couldn't vote for a woman. They couldn't vote for a black woman. You had far leftists who abandoned the party, abandoned common sense and voted for Jill Stein. Where is she? Okay, or Cornell or whatever, or didn't vote at all, and now are out and about still saying that, Moscow probably. Now there's the far left is still out there going, yeah, well, what about the Democrats? Who give a fuck anymore? I really don't. All right, Graham Plattner is an example of that. Is he perfect? Fuck no. Does he have issues? Yes. Did he address the issues? I believe so. Did he give an indication that he's any of those issues? No. He and his wife have problems? Yes, they went to counseling. Meanwhile, they talked to Susan Collins today about, do you regret your vote for Brett Kavanaugh that gave them the majority? And she said no. And she went on this diatribe, but I'm really disappointed in him that he voted for against Roe versus Wade. But, I don't regret my vote. That's what you get with her. Is that what you want? I'd rather roll the dice on some guy like Graham Plattner who gives me impressions that he's going to fight for me. This is for Maine, and trust me, I don't have to worry about it here in Georgia because I know who John Ossoff is. Then that person who said that as if that's a good thing, okay? And don't give me that, well, he could be another John Fetterman. Oh, Fetterman. Okay. We also had another Christian Cinema. She's gone. Fetterman's going to be gone. And if he does it, he'll be gone. But I'd rather roll the dice than that. Susan Collins sitting there going, yeah, I don't regret my vote, but I feel really bad he did what he did. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to sell you. And the far left is trying to sell you other bullshit. No. We have to take back the power or we're fucked. Totally fucked. Mike Johnson told you what will happen if the Republicans win the House again. We're gone. All our money is gone. Money we put in for decades to protect the elderly. Someone wrote a book or talked about boomers. Now, I was born in 1962. I'm going to back into boomer. But my formative years, unlike the boomers before me, which were the 50s and the early 60s, mine were the 70s and 80s. Okay? So I grew up in a different time. I grew up at the end where things were changing. Okay? Those people got everything they wanted every time they wanted. And someone made a comment that older boomers eventually will embrace fascism because it's about themselves. And that's what we're seeing now. Because, face it, Donald Trump, the ultimate fascist, the ultimate boomer, all about me. And if you don't believe that, again, I told you about the rally he's going to have July 4th, just a Trump rally, not America. He shouldn't even be part of it. He should just throw out the fireworks and that's it. Okay, we don't need a speech. We don't need that. Let us celebrate it ourselves. But he does it. And he's going to have this rally to bring America together. No, you're going to do that to try to sell people on your lack of vision for the midterms. That's what you're going to do. Okay, at our expense with fireworks and weapons and all. I mean, it's insane. But you want really insane? FIFA, which is the most corrupt organization ever. And I wish someone could start going through that and putting these people in jail. They've done it once. They should do it again, especially after this World Cup. Has decided, since the World Cup final is in New Jersey, is it New Jersey or Miami? I think it's New Jersey. That Donald Trump will be on the stage with the win on the trophy presentation stage. That Donald Trump will hand the trophy to the winning team and celebrate with them like he did something. And I'm sitting there going, are you, what, excuse me? What? Do you know how hard it is to win a term like that? Do you know how hard that is? Even on any level, to win something like that. I mean, my daughter and I coached a team. When the kids won the team, I handed them the trophy. Go celebrate. I had nothing to do with that. You kids did it. You guys did it. Those guys would do it. But Donald Trump wants to be in on it because he wants stolen valor. But that's him. He's so desperate, all right, to be loved. And that's also part of what's going on with the enforcement of ICE, the enforcement of going after people who may speak against him. Also, excuse me. I mean, these are things we're seeing little by little every day happen in America because it's the end game. It's the end game. They know it's coming to an end. They're trying their damnedest. I mean, they talk about ICE at polling places. They tried that in Southern California. They got chased out. All right. And they talked to Mark Wayne, two names, Mullen. They said, well, we're going to be there in case there's some kind of a criminal issue. Dude, you're not law enforcement. You don't do that. They keep acting like law enforcement, which encourages law enforcement to act worse. And they're not. They've been giving power they should not have. They have made the Constitution maybe kind of, sort of. They've taken away those people's rights. And before you fucking tell me, the last time I had a live, or 2 lives ago, some guy came in here and said, the Constitution is for citizens only. Go fuck yourself. That's not true. Every one of those guests right now in the United States for the World Cup are protected by the Constitution. If they get arrested, they're due their civil rights. Period. That's what the Constitution says. It doesn't say for citizens only. It doesn't. It's everyone on American soil. That's the beauty of the Constitution. Okay? That's what it was designed for. Is it perfect? Fuck no. Was it written by a bunch of slaveholders? Yes. But at least it's something we all can believe in now. See, that's the thing. They tried to sell Saturday as American culture. And American culture. American culture is everything around it. People who have been here to make America what they want it to be with their own taste. But American culture is held together, or America, by the Constitution. We all believe in the Constitution. The bigger thing, the social, the big thing we believe in, that as social responsibility we take to. That's why, again, contrary to what Pete Heskett said, we, the military, um, swears an oath to the Constitution, not to the presidency or anything else. And that's what gets lost. And that's, again, what I love about watching the World Cup. We're getting reminded that we are better than our leadership. We are better than those of us, those who so-called lead us. I mean, it's tough. It really is hard right now to listen to these people try to bullshit us, to gaslight us, about gas, about groceries. That's another thing. Yeah, kind of going to get everything open. The Israelis aren't going to follow this so-called peace plan. They're supposed to sign it on Friday in Vienna, but I don't know. The Israelis have probably said, fuck that, we're not going to do anything about it. We're going to keep bombing Lebanon because Lebanon belongs to us now. Start bombing Beirut again. They've already taken over southern Lebanon. They have displaced millions of people. Okay? And they are going to do what they're damnedest to make this worse. Meanwhile, even if the Strait of Hormuz is open, which is going to be administered by Oman and Iran together, and they keep saying there's going to be fees. There will be fees, and we caught that $300 billion for a reconstruction fund. We wouldn't be doing that if we had left well enough alone. $300 billion. Do you know what you can do for the American people with $300 billion? America first my ass, right, guys? And MAGA keeps defending it. They are now saying, look, the great deal makers made a deal. Made a deal with a problem he created. And again, if they even get the oil start moving, everything gets back. You bombed a lot of their infrastructure. You bombed infrastructure. They bombed the infrastructure of the Gulf states. Even if we start getting the oil rolling, it's going to take months to make an effect in the market. It's going to keep the prices high. And if they don't do it, if they can't cut a deal, if there's nothing signed and it continues, then there's going to be shortages. We're getting close to that. They haven't replenished our strategic oil reserve. Countries are using theirs. And they keep bullshitting you. And when the President of the United States has said, hey, inflation is 4.2%, how do you feel? I love it. That's a great number. What? And don't blame Joe Biden. Stop it. He ain't president. Stop that shit. That's what they gaslighted us with that. And they keep telling manufacturers coming, jobs are where, when, how, who, where, why, how. It's all, these lies are rolling up more and more and more and more because there are no answers and they know they've got themselves boxed in. They're totally screwed. They're screwed. I can't even listen to Republicans. So right now I just saw that Mike Collins is going to be the nominee for Senate. Hard in Georgia, hard anti-immigrant guy is going to take on John Ossoff. Okay, bye. You offer nothing, Collins, other than the same bullshit. You're going to offer nothing here to Georgia. You're going to talk about what Ossoff hasn't. Ossoff has done a lot more than you have, and you're a congressman, a conservative MAGA chud. Enjoy getting your ass handed to him. You are. Okay? I don't know about governor, but I'm voting for the mayor of Atlanta, a former mayor of Atlanta. I mean, I don't know how it goes, So, that's the thing. They know they're in trouble. oh, they know they're in trouble. And it's going to get worse and worse and go after our voting rights. They're going to lie to us more. They're going to make this about things it shouldn't be about. But the thing about it is, no one is believing it. All we have to do is keep reminding them about the economy. They're going to remind them about gas prices, remind them about health care, how people don't have health care, women's reproductive rights, or just women's health care. I mean, it's more than that. They have just taken everything apart because all Republicans know is how to take away things from people. They never give you anything, ever. They never help you out. Their job is to take and hold it for themselves and go and say, oh, yeah, we'll own the libtards. Who cares anymore? That's not important anymore. And it's never going to be important ever again. And I think, as I'm going to bring this, yeah, it's all about the cruelty. And they enjoy it. It's kind of sad. And think about it, they enjoy it, but they look for more. Again, I was saying earlier, Gabrielle, the great thing about all the World Cup fans here interacting with Americans, they brought joy to us again. Joy we haven't seen. Hell, even in Houston. Okay? They brought that back to the United States. It made us, it kind of brought back a lot of the American, because we've been miserable. We really have. And, MAGA said, well, I haven't been miserable. Yes, you have. You're always miserable. You hate everything. You hate everything. That eats you up. Okay? You don't enjoy life. You make life about making everyone else miserable because you are. And I'm watching all these people interact with all these with visitors. I'm going, yeah, that's us, finally. Away from that facade they keep pushing on us. Yeah, it's such a part. Yeah, the Dave's party all over the world. Yeah, I'm watching right now Argentina and believe it's Algeria. Getting onto the pitch now. And they're going to go out and it's just going to be a party, win or lose. And it's heartbreaking to see we needed this. We needed this, even though I thought it was going to be bad with ice and everything. We needed this to remind us that there's a better life than what they keep trying to sell us. All these visitors from other countries have shown us that what they try to tell you is a lie. Humanity crosses everyone. Okay? And that's who we are. But we got lost in it because we have a narcissist running this country. Yeah, I saw that. I mentioned that. Yeah, he's going to let them trophy to win it, whatever. I mean, FIFA's corrupt. What can you say? I mean, maybe that's the price to leave people alone while they're here in the World Cup. I'm hoping. But it's just, I know it's been exhausting. But the best thing is, this has kind of given me a little more oomph. And also I'll say it as I'm bringing this close. The G7, watching him just struggle to be there gives me hope that this is going to end soon. It gives me hope because, damn, he's not looking good, and these decisions are being made by him. They are saying he's having final decisions on everything. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few days. This Iranian deal might be done, might not. I got a feeling that Israel's going to do something stupid. The Iranians will respond, and then we're back doing the same thing all over again, which is going to make it worse. and they're going to try to spin it, and they can't. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. So, but there's some hope because November will be hope. And there's, like I said, here in Georgia, we're going to be fine. And I think Rick Wilson with Joe Trippi made a good comment in one of their videos that this is going to be not just a blue wave. This is going to be a change election, like 1980 was, where the Democrats expected to lose, but they did not expect to lose like they did to Reagan. Big names in the Senate and the House got rolled up. And you're going to see the same thing, I think, in November. As much as these assholes are going to try to keep us from voting, we will do it because we've had it. Not just us, independents. Yeah, are marked by the ocean, sails unfurled. Because Trump said today there's no reason Israel should bomb an apartment house for one guy. You mean like we shouldn't have bombed that school of girls? Full of girls? That man is... Right? And yeah, Barry, they're going to get tough. I think them making that announcement the other day that day one, we're going after these people. Yeah. No one is going to accept from a Democratic winner or elector that now that we've won, we're going to try to bridge the gap and put the past behind us. No. It's justice. It's time for them to pay for their crimes. And hence the investigations. I want to, once the House the Democrats take the House, I want 2 years of investigations. I want them to wiggle. Even though nothing's going to happen, we know that, but it sets up 28. And once you get a true Department of Justice, it's on. Because it's going to be no statute of limitations. And as for ICE, you motherfuckers, all you fucking punk ass bitches out there playing cosplay, saying that, you're doing it for America. No, you're doing it because you're hateful assholes. And they're going to pay. And there will be tribunals. And there'll be tribunals. They're going to open these concentration camps. And hey, GeoCorp guys, you're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail for crimes against humanity. You're going to go to jail for just being abusive assholes. And the reason they're doing it is because they consider these people who are immigrants people. They consider them other than people. That's how they treat them. Okay? No. Your time is coming. I watch these guys. They're arrogant. But they're going to pay the price. And, oh, by the way, Ted Blanchard, you're going to go the way of Pam Bondi. You're going to go the way of everyone that served under Trump. You're going to jail. Oh, brother, you're going to jail. You're going to lose it all. You think you're flying high. Oh, look at me. Ooh, I'm now the Attorney General. Whee! To quote Hamilton. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be ironic. Paramount Plus deal. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, and just how the IDF treats Palestinian people. And they have IDF. Part of the problem is there are facts that they have IDF trainers with ICE. IDF trainers at ICE. They're just doing their thing. So that's what I'm saying, everybody. We're going to get this. And we just got to call it out. And the people from Lebanon, yeah, they displaced 1 million people. I don't know what they're going to do about the Middle East. That's a mess. And people keep telling the Israeli people on that. Really? From what I hear from the Israeli people, a lot of them support it. They love it. They don't consider any people of Palestine or Lebanon as people. As people. All right? I mean, look at some of the cabinet and some of their politicians. My God. I mean, they're not... If they weren't speaking Hebrew, I think they'd be speaking German. You know what I mean? They became what they hated. They became what created them. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? If you think about it, Israel was born out of pain and hurt and prejudice, and they became that. Became that. I don't even know what to say anymore of that. I mean, other than it's costing us as Americans. It's costing us. And we need to figure out what to do about that. And the thing we're going to do, I'm hoping, see, here's the thing, and I'll bring up this deal. If Trump goes ahead and the $300 billion is basically telling the Iranians, hey, just do a deal with us. Don't worry about them. If you want to bomb the shit out of the Israelis, go ahead. That's your problem with the Israelis. But you keep the oil flowing. Keep the spice flowing. The spice must flow. For all my geeks in there, you know what I'm talking about. Keep it flowing. He's $300 billion to do so. Because honestly, it's not a reconstruction fund. It's a bribe. Keep the well. What about the Israelis? You know what? Deal with them. That's the Israeli problem. And some of the Israeli government people are afraid that's going to happen. You did a deal with Donald Trump. What do you think was going to happen? To use a line from another movie from decades ago that makes me laugh at times, you fucked up. You trusted us. Trump will do that because that gets him out of the war. Gets him out of it. He's bored. He's bored. People already said that. The reason he doesn't bring up affordability and all that because it bores him. It bores him to talk about that stuff. It's, no, I want to talk about my arch, my ballroom. I want to talk about me. Talk about how much you love me. You know, that's why cabinet meetings are circle jerks. I've never seen a president have live cabinet meetings ever, because those are things that shouldn't be discussed in the open, in my mind. Okay, because some security stuff may come up, but not Trump. No, he just needs them to tell him how great he is, and under his leadership, blah 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 blah. Right? Okay. And I think that's all. If it's all catching up, this is endgame, people. I keep saying that over and over again. It's not easy because we see the stupidity. This is endgame. And yeah, some of the states are fucked up. Tennessee's totally fucked up with their laws. Alabama, Mississippi, Texas. But I'll tell you one thing about Texas, and I heard this the other day from, I saw this, someone who's part of the Texas Democratic Party said that for the first time ever, after this redistricting, every state house seat and Senate seat, or every state race is being challenged with a Democrat. There is no open races. Everyone is being challenged. Every Republican is being challenged in Texas. Never happened before. That tells you something. Because they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that if they didn't think there was a chance. Because Texans redistrict, or Abbott redistricted, and they did it and they did it under old, results from 24. But the Hispanic vote isn't there anymore. You pissed that away. You betrayed them. Now they know you don't think of them as partners. You think of them as the enemy, as part of the problem, not the solution. Yeah, they will not. No. And I think that's what it is. They may have redistrict everything, but there's going to be a fight in each one. And that's the thing. They may redistrict. They may have done that in Alabama. They may have done that in Tennessee. But if you get Democrats running in each one, you fight. See what happens. Because if this is a change election, they're going to get a few surprises. That's the thing you all got to remember. This is not. They based a lot of their stuff on old data. And if you're watching the World Cup, Messi just scored for Argentina, which makes things everything's okay, I guess. But that's what it is. They're going to find out. They're going to find out because they're using bad data. And how do we keep doing? We keep doing it because we keep pressing the pedal to the metal. Democrats keep talking about the economy, what they're going to do for you. If you're in a farm community, bring up what he's cost you. Tell them that you're going to work to reopen the markets. Hell, tell them you're going to bring back USAID because that'll make you money. That's not a handout. That was money you were taking out of your pocket. Show the incompetency. Are these people normal? They're not. Talk to people. Make them aware that who cares about transgender if you can't feed your family, if you can't have a decent living wage? Who cares? The only people who care about that are rich white folk and boomers, because that gives them power. I mean, immigrants take your job. Really? Are you climbing up a roof? Are you doing construction? Are you picking shit? That's what I'm saying. It can be done. And I'll tell you why. The whole thing about California right now, where they're accusing California of cheating. Look. I was in California. I'm born in Los Angeles. Was in California up to 20 years ago. Okay. But I was in California during the late 80s and the 90s when Pete Wilson was governor, where the Republicans were ahead of the game, ahead of the time, using immigration as a way to stoke power and fear. Never mind, he was off sides. They did the same thing about illegal aliens getting, free stuff from the government, which you can't. Prop 187. Oh yeah, Monrovia. You know what I'm talking about, where the Monrovia, and I brought this up with Mike, where the city council didn't let the ban signs and anything but English. Remember that? I remember that because the influx of I don't know what's it, Vietnamese and Cambodian immigrants setting up restaurants. I remember those council meetings. It was total, absolute, straight up racism. They were racist, period. And oh wow, so they called Messi's goal offsides, and Algeria turned around and scored. Ooh, this is going to be a good game. Yeah, we can do both. It's called multitasking. But I remember that. That was one of the things that led to the downfall of the Republican Party in California, because they pushed 187. Pete Wilson used that as a way to say, yeah, this is when we get power. I'm going to hate those people. All right. Before it was people of color, it was African Americans. The Tom Brady election Prop 187, Gabriel, exactly. They used that. Okay, and what you did, even though it passed, and then it got tossed out because it was not constitutional and you couldn't do it, but also it just told everyone the Republican Party doesn't care about you. And so people naturalized people of color and Hispanics rose up to vote in Monrovia and places like Linwood and all that. Their parents couldn't vote, but their children grew up to, and the children remembered, and their children now sit on city councils. They voted those people out. And the Republican Party, who latched on to that racism, latched on to their hate, was wiped off pretty much out in California. In California. That's why California is such a deep blue state, because Republicans did themselves in. And it's been 40 years of that. And Republicans, every time they try to come back, okay, people say, what about Arnie? Arnie was a freak. And I'll tell you why. Because the governor at the time, Gray Davis, did the one sin you never do. He was going to raise registration on cars. Cars. When at a time we really didn't have mass transit. And we're not talking about a little bit, a lot. Okay? And that's where the recall, and that's how Arnie won. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a conservative, but right now I wouldn't even consider him a conservative anymore. Doesn't fit it. He is, and he won, but he ran like a moderate. And no Republican ever, again, since that time, has been governor. And Republicans hate California. Why? Because you can't crack it. So how are you going to crack it? By doing what they're doing now, accusing people of fraud, voter fraud, financial fraud. Hey, let's investigate the governor's wife and see if we can get something. That's what they're doing. But it's not going to change. You can't win California. Steve Hilton is going to get fucking buried by Xavier Becerra. And the interesting race is going to be Kevin Bass next. Forgot the woman's name. If you know the name, she's running against. She's a progressive. Kind of speaks a lot like Mondami. I think she's going to beat Karen Bass. Because Karen Bass has not been a good mayor for Los Angeles. And I think Los Angeles needs a new mayor or a new way to go. And you see what Mondami's doing in New York. Balance the budget in less than a year. In less than a few, January to June, 6 months? Oh yeah, we just got to do this. Hi, potholes get done. There's a woman in New York put up this video. Yeah, look at this leaking fire hydrant. Next day, fixed. That's how you do it. You put up. Okay? And I think that's going to cost Karen Bass. But the point is, Spencer Pratt is no. Spencer Pratt, no. He had nothing. He was just doing it for the grift. Like every one of those guys. He don't care about the city of Los Angeles. I mean, he didn't even live in LA. He lived in a fucking trailer. It's a joke. And all these people are going, well, it had to be cheating because Pratt lost. No, he lost because Los Angeles is a blue city. Spencer Pratt's a loser. And we didn't want him. They didn't want him. Well, it takes forever. They must be cheating. No, they make sure every vote is counted and vote counted properly. But see, that's what they got. That's all they have. That's why they're going after Tim Walz in Minnesota. That's why they're investigating voter rights in, I believe it's Texas. That's why the FBI is spending our money on these investigations, because they're desperate. Fuck crime. I mean, if I'm a criminal right now on the higher end, woo, man, I'm making money. Human trafficking, drugs, they don't give a shit. They're too busy chasing Trump's enemies. Tennessee is pulling their election? What, they're not going to have midterms? I'm sorry. The artist, what do you mean? Please. I haven't heard this. Can't pull an election? They got to have an election. What are they going to say? I mean, it's something Tennessee would do and Bill Lee. I mean, that state is messed up. But you see, this is desperation, desperate stuff. Well, the redistricting, that was for Louisiana and Alabama. And I'll be honest, that's just them. I mean, and on the national stage, it isn't going to mean shit, to be honest. They already started voting. Yeah, they yanked it. I know. That's what they did. They shouldn't have. They did it. And no one challenged them in court. And it's hard to take a federal court and do it, because then they go ahead and talk about, what happened with the Voter Rights Act. That's going to blow up in their face. Trust me. People are going to come out and vote this time. and they're not going to be happy. It's going to happen. This is going to be a change election. I'm telling you. All this we're seeing about their, all we're seeing right now is just the medications of desperation. How can we stop this from happening? You can't. You're going to try, and if you think you do, people are going to fight. Oh, they're going to fight like a mother. They're going to fight, 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 fight. And that's what's going to happen. Let's bring someone on because he's here. Maybe he'll come up. Let's send an invite to you, Chucker. Hey, bro, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Will? How you doing, bud?
Doing all right. Just doing a kind of a live, covering all the crazy that's gone on in the last few days.
There's a lot of crazy
Today.
going on, Will.
it's fun to watch them try to tell me that green is blue and the reflective.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. It's just dumb. But the thing about it, I wanted to ask you since you're here. Do you see Trump's act in Vienna? Is it Vienna, right?
Yeah, I'm confused about that. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
he rambled on and on about Obama giving up the $1.8 billion and even described what kind of jet he sent it over in. But he says
Right.
that he is not giving them any money. But J.D. Vance said the polar opposite just today. So,
Yeah. $300 billion recent reconstruction fund. I was talking about Mike that on the podcast the other night. What it is that the Israelis aren't going to go with this. You know it, and I know it. The Israelis need war. He wants Lebanon, and I think what they're going to do. I think that money is look. We don't give a fuck what the Israelis do. What you do with the Israelis? Go bomb them. We don't care. Here's $300 billion to leave us alone. Keep the oil running.
interesting.
That's fine. I mean, doesn't that make sense? It makes sense for them, doesn't it?
Well, it does. Well,
For us.
Netanyahu, well, yeah. Well, Netanyahu knows that if he stops any war, they're coming after him, right, for his war crimes. So he has to
Right.
keep this thing going, and he also is going to do that because he doesn't want an election, right? So
Yeah.
he's, but I will say this: he single-handedly got us involved in this. And now he's
Yes.
single-handedly keeping us from getting out of it.
Well, here's the thing: we can get out of it. If that money gets us out of it, and we simultaneously, this is Iran and us, keep the oil flowing. He's going to learn the lesson. He's going to learn the lesson that everyone else has done when you do deals with Trump. You're going to get fucked in the end.
Well, think
And
about this though, Will. You've got two of the worst people in the world to make a deal with, dealing with each other. You know what I
right.
mean? So that's not going to end well.
No, and the thing about it is, they keep talking about they did this and they're trying to hype up the deal. But this is a deal made after he created this mess. Because, and I think someone put it pretty succinctly, because he couldn't take Barack Obama having a Nobel Peace Prize over this deal. He couldn't do it. He was jealous. And I saw some a-hole today saying, yeah, that was a terrible deal by Obama and the president fixed it. No, he didn't. He put us in a war that caused world economic disaster. Now he's trying to get out of it because he knows he's fucked. Because his rich people are going, dude, you're screwing me now. I need my money.
Well, did you
You
hear
know,
Lindsay today?
oh God, this should be fun. I saw Lindsay between two big sweaty UFC guys smiling, but okay, go ahead.
Well, he wasn't smiling today. They had asked him about the war, and what are we getting out of it? And he just looks so disheveled, and he just says, "Well, when we get done, the streets should be open, and that's something really good that we need to get out of this." And I'm
But it was
thinking
open before.
it was open before, so all you and then, and,
And he was a big. Here's the thing: And someone, I think it was Tim Miller in the Bulwark and another one of his partners was talking about, because what you have is hawks, war hawks, who stopped the first deal, right? Because they
Hmm.
didn't want it, because they want war. And Lindsey Graham was one of the biggest one. But Lindsey Graham just had an election, and he's going to need Donald Trump to win South Carolina. And what you saw right there was Lindsey Graham telling Donald Trump, "I'm your bitch again.
Yep.
Do what you want, because I
Yeah.
need you to stay in power."
But
And
they asked
anyone
him
in South
about the
Carolina is going to vote. Say again, I'm sorry.
no. They asked him about the nuclear program. He said, "Well,
Right.
if we can't stop them from getting a nuke or creating one, our next option would be just to get the strait open." And that's what he said. Like, I'm
I
like, so we
mean,
didn't accomplish anything at this point.
no. And it cost us $300 billion, and it's still not going to help the economy. It'll take months for to straighten out the mess he created. He created
Exactly.
this mess, and his people around him created this mess, and you can't solve it, and you can't sell it to the American people because they know the reality of what's going on. Like you couldn't sell that bullshit on Saturday. I mean, they can't sell it. Like I mean, again, green is blue. Trust me, it's blue. It's blue. I mean, that's what they want us to do. Republicans are trying to do right now in Georgia. They have their Republican primary. It looks like Mike Collins will go against John Ossoff. Big deal. Mike
Yep.
Collins is a MAGA pud. He's going to get his ass handed to him. There's
So
nothing he can say that's going to win that election for him. John Ossoff is going to eat him alive.
yeah, he is. Are you following JD's rebranding campaign?
That's not rebranding. That's him. I don't know what he's doing. He's done.
Well, he called it his
He's done.
rebranding campaign. He's taking back
Branding
the
what?
well, okay, so he knows that he's going to be the front runner, right? For
Okay.
2028. So he's trying to show us the softer side. So he's taking back the comments that he made about the single cat ladies, and he's agreeing to he's God, I can't even talk today. To appear on the View, right? He's going on the View to talk to them. He's trying to tone it down so he doesn't look so MAGA for 2028.
I don't. I don't. He's still the same.
Still
He's
JD.
just still JD. I mean, he's the Maybelline man. I mean, dude, and he doesn't. Nothing comes out of him. He has no. It's like in Hamilton, that scene where if you've seen Hamilton, you seen Hamilton, Tucker, the show.
Oh
Or
yeah,
the,
absolutely.
okay, that scene with the election where it's tied, and Hamilton chooses Jefferson because Jefferson has beliefs, Burr
Yep.
has none. J.D. Vance is Aaron Burr. He has no beliefs
He believes
except
in whatever
himself
you
and
tell him.
exactly or what benefits him.
Hmm.
And we see that. Everyone can see, even the MAGA see it. They sniff out his bullshit. And that's the thing. He can't, there is nothing he can do to change that. Nothing.
No, JD ruined himself after he. Remember when he said he was never Trump guy? This was JD before the beard, and
Right.
that's when he was halfway telling the truth. But then once he got in cahoots with Trump, that was the end of JD because he totally switched who he was.
Well, yeah, and he thought he's going to be the man afterwards. But man, Trump made it too much. He's got too much to get up over.
Hmm.
He can't get over this. All the things that I done can't get over ICE. Can't get over what Trump has done. What Trump has done to the economy. Can't go over tariffs. My wife said she's supposed to get something she ordered from France. They can't send it. Why? Tariffs.
Yep.
I mean, that's insane. And he's ruined everything. But here's the thing that I was bringing up when I started this live. The World Cup. Okay. And I personally thought this was going to be a total disaster, that fans would come here and get arrested, that ICE would be everywhere, that they'd be breaking skulls. Honestly, I really thought that. Because that's what they've been doing for the last 2 years.
Right.
to us. Um, and then I started seeing scenes of what's going on in Scotland, in Boston with the Scots. And I'm watching them celebrate and walk down. I'm waiting for ice to show up. It doesn't. I'm watching people welcome them and have a good time, and Americans laughing again. And it's not just Boston. Here in Atlanta, that little country called Capo Verde, little
Mm-hmm.
island company that tied Spain, which is huge. That's a point. That's huge in the group. But they tied one of the giants, Spain. They're dancing in Centennial Park in Atlanta. The Germans
Wow.
are here. And the first thing a German guy did, he walked in the Waffle House. And the video is great. And he tells the lady, I want 14 waffles. And the lady's going, excuse me? He goes, I want 14 waffles. All right. He eats 14 waffles. He loves it. That Waffle House, which is right by Mercedes-Benz Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
has a line out the door for people to get in.
Just because he
You,
bought 14 waffles. Nice.
yeah, because he got video was viral. I don't know the Waffle Houses in Indiana. I know they're here in Georgia in the South.
No.
I've never seen a line to get into a Waffle House
Mm-mm.
any time of day.
No, because the
I mean,
breakfast is just mid. I mean, it's okay, but you know.
I know, but Waffle House is just it's something you do after 2 in the morning. Okay,
Right.
that's basically what it is. After the party, and you go there because it's the only thing open.
Exactly.
When I was in California, it was Denny's. That's what you did. Or in Los Angeles, it's Jack in a Box, 2 tacos for $1. Anyway, those are stories. But and then you have that in Houston. They're welcoming people. In Lawrence, Kansas, they're welcoming the Japanese. They had the Japanese royal princess at a rodeo. At a rodeo. And
Wow.
I'm thinking, don't mess with her. Because the giant Japanese revere her. But she was there, and I mentioned that in the video. People said, no, we'll take care of her. They welcomed them. In Houston, okay, they're welcoming. There's I think Iraqis there. In Lawrence, Kansas, they're welcoming the Algerian team, which is losing to Argentina right now, with open arms. Americans are showing what we are without our fucking government showing
Exactly.
us.
Exactly.
We are not what they say. We are a welcoming people. And they're eating the food and everything. That's multicultural. See, the one thing about that whole thing on Saturday, they call that American culture. They said that brought America. No, that is not American culture. That is no,
That was some
because that's
hillbilly
not
shit.
welcome. Yeah, that's not welcoming. What you see right now with the World Cup and the fans is welcome. And I see a lot of Americans like, this is cool. I haven't
Well,
smiled in years.
don't forget about what
Literally.
Rubio said, though, Will. What Marco
What?
said. Marco said that, hey, we're not going to really be too much of a presence when they come in. He said, we're more concerned with them leaving, or he said, the lack thereof of them leaving. And we want to make sure that they get out.
I mean, I guess. I mean, hopefully, would they ruin it? Yeah, I can see them ruining it. I can see them doing that. That's what they
But
do.
everybody's having so much fun, though, Will. Just like you said, they're trying our food and creating all these videos. And
I mean, the fun one, the best ones is the Koreans in Mexico. Holy shit!
I didn't see
God
that one.
damn! Oh, look at the Koreans and Mexicans are that's just a party. Because Koreans can drink, Mexicans can drink. It
Yeah.
is a party,
I saw
and
the Germans
like,
down in Louisiana partying.
oh yeah, shit yeah. They don't. That's the thing. Everyone came here for fun. We haven't had fun. We really haven't had fun for years. We just haven't had it because we're so worried. Keep looking over our shoulder. What are they going to do next? What's next? What's next? And these guys just said, "Fuck it." They had the Scots brought their own music. I mean, I thought about that sign. what's that movie, that parody, Don't Drink Your Orange Juice in the Hood? I forgot the name of it. I know the movie.
Yeah, don't drink your
Um,
orange juice in the hood while living in South Los Angeles on a Tuesday or
yeah,
something
it's
stupid.
yeah. There's that one where they have that one black actor who's like, he comes up on to the guys and he goes, "Where's that music from?" And he turns around, there's a guy. He goes, "You never be a hero without bringing your own music, your own theme music."
Theme
And
music.
there's guys
Yeah.
behind him doing the thing, and I thought of that as these guys, as the Scots marched to Fenway Park in full regalia with
Yep.
bagpipes and all, and I'm going, "Damn!" And they just said, "We're going to do this," and
Well, they
yay,
drank all the beer out of the local bar. Okay.
yes. I saw that. I mean, one guy said they ran out. They ran out of whiskey
Yeah.
in a place called Hennessy. They ran out of whiskey. They ran out. And one guy said, "Yeah, we're getting frozen because they play again on Saturday. Hopefully we have enough." That's money. That's also they're playing money, but also just someone asked how much they cost. They told him one guy goes $1,500 a day, and I don't care.
Yeah. They don't care. They
Um,
saved up for this.
yeah, and the government ruined some of them because they were denied some visas. I'm just hoping stay the fuck out of the way and enjoy. But FIFA announced today that the final at the ceremony, the cup presentation ceremony, Donald Trump is going to give the cup to the winning team.
Oh, of course he is.
I mean, I'm going, what the fuck? And he's going
I
to
hope it's
celebrate with
Iran.
him. Yeah, that's the thing. What's what it's not, but yeah. I mean, just
Wouldn't
come
that be special
on.
if he gave Iran the trophy?
Well, he gave him $300 billion. He gave him a trophy.
True.
He made Iran literally the number one country in the Gulf now. Saudi Arabia has nothing on it. The Gulf states are gone. Israel is about to be is going to be what they're going to do. Short of nuking Tehran, Israel is going to be by itself. I really think that there's nothing the Israelis can do that's going to get the U.S. out of this. I don't think there's anyone in the White House that can convince Trump that you got to save Israel. I think Trump thinks Israel's getting in his way. Fuck him. I
Yeah,
need
he said
mine.
that today, kind of. Yeah, he kind of said that today. He says Bibi is over there looking for people. He said, and there's no need for him to take down an entire building just for one person. He said, we don't need
Right.
that. So he's
Yeah.
starting to
And
change his tune.
yeah, yeah. He started, and that's going to leave them alone. And that's what I think the $300 billion is. The $300 billion is basically said, look, do what you want. Fuck with Israel. Take them out. We don't care as long as the oil flows.
Yeah,
But
I'm done.
I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I think that's the only way out of it. If you do not do it that way, you're going to be sucked back into this war, and it'll be worse for you because you're going to be back to, oh, there goes Taco again. You see, and even
Yep.
his people around him are beginning to realize that. Also, they know that the oil is running out. They know that it could get worse once they run out of strategics. They know it's going to be worse. And so if it costs Israel, fine. The Israelis have to change the government. Maybe we can do business with them later. But right now, if you support Israel, just take it from the Trump view, it's bad for business, dudes. It's really bad because they don't care. They really don't care.
In my opinion,
Because
anybody who hitches their wagon to Trump now is you might as well plan on not doing anything. You know what I mean?
not doing anything, not winning anything, not being part of anything. I mean, the Republican message is still, yeah, Trump loves me. I'm a Trump lover. And Trump gives us everything. Blessed be Trump. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Well,
I
they
mean,
still say
Republican, like,
he's sent down from heaven. He's God. So
oh, God. I know. That's the thing. They really, truly believe it. And it's dumb, but it's what they got. And I think a lot of why MAGA is holding on because they don't want to be wrong or they got no other choices. They're screwed.
Yeah, they're
They're
screwed.
totally screwed.
So what do we do
So
with
I
them?
mean,
Like when all this is over, what happens to MAGA? How do we even,
we
you know what I
don't.
mean? Like, what do we do with them? You know what I
We
mean?
turn them into the pariahs they are, because they're based on the pariahs we already had: racism, hatred, misogyny. We just return them back under the rocks. We're not going to get rid of it. You know that, T. It's always
Well,
going to
yeah.
be there. It had gone under a rock.
Well,
Okay,
see, I just
it's
asked
just
that
that.
question because I heard somebody talking
Yeah.
about it earlier. It's like, well, where do they go? Where do they fit in? Do we try to, um, convince them that they were wrong? Do we try to work with them, or do we just say fuck it and ignore them? And like you just said, hopefully they go back under the rock they came under.
We call them out. If there'll still be people that go, still be people who will support that or part of the Republican Party be that. We'll call them out because it's easy to show them what they did, the damage. I mean, that's truth. That'll be the damage. They can't get around it. I mean, it's and then also with a lot of the people in the Trump regime probably going to go to jail or brought up on trial. ICE tribunals, there will be those. People will have to answer for the brutality they did. The
Oh
Geo
yeah,
Corporation will answer for his brutality. There is not going to be make nice at the end. There's going to be justice. They can't. With all that going on, what are you going to say? Yeah, that was me. I'm cool with it.
right.
They'll go
And I'm
hide it.
talking about like a neighbor, not like the politicians, but like an average Joe.
Uh, we don't talk to our neighbors anyway, so fuck them. I'm along. I mean, honestly, I don't leave me alone. I leave you alone. Now I'm from California, so that's what we do. But the point is, you can't do anything about it. You can't. I think the biggest effect is going to be on evangelicals
Yeah,
because your religion has been exposed for the cult that it is, for the grift that it is. And I think a lot of mega churches and all that in that type of environment are going to take hits. Because let's put it this way, James Tellerico in Texas quoted parts of Matthew, which is part of the Sermon on the Mount, okay, the other day. And the lieutenant governor of Texas, Bill, is it Patrick? Yeah, Patrick said that's not Christ-like. He's not a Christian if he says that.
well,
I mean,
right.
yeah, I
But
mean
they're the
that. I
same
mean,
people that put a picture up of him in lipstick and a wig, calling him a transvestite.
right? Yeah, and that, but they're not Christian, and that's the thing. It's going to affect them because they base their religion on things that don't exist. They based they based a lot of their beliefs on this, and evangelicals latched on because it gave them power. I think it's going to affect them. I think the mega churches will be affected. I think a lot of these smaller churches who have lit onto it will be affected. I think the institutional religions, like Catholicism, is going to benefit, especially when the newest pope is basically a really good man and espouse the things of Jesus and true Christianity. I think the ones that are going to take the fall are the ones who really don't have organized religion. They just call themselves Christians.
Right.
They're not part of any umbrella. That's my take because you based all this on hate and lies, and that can't last. You can't grift on that anymore.
Right. What
And
do you
I
think the
mean,
Mormons are going to fall into this? The LDS.
the Mormons are always going to be the LDS are going to be who they are. They really haven't really supported Trump because Trump hasn't really supported them, and their views have always been their views. From someone who has a Mormon in his family, as my brother-in-law, they're just the same. I've been to Salt Lake City. I've been to the temple. That won't change. They are who they are.
And the reason why I
But
asked you that is because of what happened with them and Pete Hegseth. You know
oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
well that one that tells you how that came up. Yeah, they're not going to put up with that shit because they see themselves as a part of Christianity, which I kind
Exactly.
of agree. Okay, I because for all their beliefs, they still espouse a lot of it. They do take care of their own. Fine. I mean, the LDS is the LDS. It's what you have with the evangelicals who have perverted everything that Jesus said for their benefit is what is bad. Okay, so I don't see the LDS changing. Like I said, it's a big institutional church. It will not be affected by this mess. I don't think so because they have their own things to do. Trump just put so much. He just sucked everything out of the room for those who have been evangelicals for years, waiting for the second coming of Christ, calling him the second coming of Christ, finding out he is not, but holding on to it because that's all they got. They'll pay a price. They're all going to pay a price because you can't do. I mean, because evangelicals have been around with their grift forever. Revival tents, healers, all that. That's always been around. Okay, and they just never follow. They just look for the money. That's the way I see it, and it's going to dry up, and they're going to pay a price because people are going to realize that's bullshit. And the other thing that's going to affect it too, T, is that people are going to say, "Why can't we have Medicare for all?" And they're going to say, like that one Congress said, "We can't afford it." Really? Why we spend $100 billion on a fucking war? $60 million on this birthday party, $15 million for the reflecting pool, $300 billion to pay off these Iranians. Don't tell me we can't afford this.
Oh, we can definitely afford it.
Yeah, and so their idea of it's one choice or the other, a zero sum game, that bullshit is over. People aren't buying it, and people who normally buy it are not buying it, and I think that's what's happening, and we're going to see changes on that. We just have to make sure we vote, regardless of what they try to do, because that's what they're
Yeah,
finding out right now.
I think the 2028 election is going to be a complete shit show. It's going to be one of the worst elections that we've had as far as them going after each other. It's going to be vicious. I can just tell.
It counts on what the next 2 years are going to be like once they take control, because the Democrats aren't going to be able to do much other than I think going after the investigations is going to set up the line because Republicans have nothing to say that they're going to change it. I mean, Fox News will come up with the conspiracy theories, they'll go with the culture. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because they put too much out there of their debauchery. And what's going to happen in 28 is that if this is a change election, they lose a lot of seats they shouldn't lose, especially in the Senate. That means you're going to see 28 as a good standing point for us to take back everything and then reset. But it's not going to be easy because basically in less than 2 years, they pretty much cracked everything. Now we got to fix it and
Right.
make it better. And it's not going to be easy. And the thing about it is we have to make, yes, sir, go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, did you talk about him going after Gavin Newsom yet and his
Yeah, I
family
did.
and friends?
Ha ha, he. That's another part of the desperation. We're going to all stay in California because they can't win California.
Right.
Republicans will never win California. Even if you go after the governor and let's say you find something or the governor's wife, how's that going to change the electorate in California? It's not.
It's
Trump is
not.
hated. It's not. Trump is hated. Did I say hate? Yeah, hated. And as I said before, California is blue. It's blue since the 90s when Republicans tried the same shit and got thrown out. Okay? Becerra's going to roll Steve Hilton. He's going to roll him. It's not even going to be funny. Okay? And you can't say he's cheating. You can say it now. And this is just Trump trying to distract and going after his bullshit. And
Yep.
trying to go after his enemies. I mean, he's going after him. He's going after, what else is he going? Everyone. Because that's all he's got left. That's what he has left. because they're desperate. They're going after the electorate. They're going after the elections. ICE wants to be at polling places. Yeah, good luck with that. This is all bullshit. This is all bullshit because they're desperate and they know the end is coming.
Yeah, and
And
then
I,
Mark Wayne Muller tried to give us some bullshit excuse when they asked him about, will
mhm.
ICE be at the voting? God, I can't talk today. The voting booths, and he says, "Well, ICE is more than just immigration, correct?" He says, they can do federal law, blah blah blah. He said, if there's a fire at one of the polls, we should be able to send an ICE agent up there.
No, you can't. Because ICE doesn't have that power. DHS does not have that power. Simply because that's a local. They tried that in California. Masked men showed up at the polling place. Someone called local police and they ran them off. That's what's
Yeah,
going to happen, especially in California. And you can, and Mike and Mullen was talking about, Londani in New York and that the NYPD wants to support ICE. No, dude, they don't. They don't want you in the city. They don't want you in that city. And if you show up in New York City like he says he wants to, good luck with that. Because people are not, first of all, New York City isn't a good place right now. And if ICE shows up, it's not going to be good. It's not.
yeah, I'm afraid you're
And
correct. They don't have a good reason to be there at all.
yeah, yeah, they don't go. It's just because the false narrative is, ooh, illegals vote in California. That's why. No, 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 no.
Bullshit.
Can't vote. And why does it take us long? Because they count every ballot. And unlike what they said on these videos, oh, I can just show up and vote. You don't need ID. No, no, no. They check everything. There's a roll. The reason that they use the Department of Motor Vehicles for you to register because they got your birth certificate on file for that. Dumbasses. And that's what they do. And they check every ballot. They check every signature. So it takes a little longer. And that's secure. And it doesn't go your way. Well, it doesn't go their way because no one likes you. And it's a blue state. And the whole Spencer Pratt thing is like, well, I should have won. No, no, no one likes you, homeless man. You don't even have a fucking home in LA. You got a goddamn trailer. Okay? You don't even live in LA itself. Just go away. And the Gavin Newsom thing is just a nuisance and spending money and they won't find anything. And they're going to go after his wife, which is going to piss him off. I mean, Trump's not going to run against Newsom. I don't think Newsom will get the nomination for president anyway, but that's years down the way. The point being is, everything we see is desperation. Everything they say is desperate.
Yeah, he
I
hasn't
mean,
even
from going
declared
to,
that he's running, right?
no, he's not running. He hasn't declared it. In a couple of years, maybe he'll come up with his, or in a year and a half, come up with his exploratory committee. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens because a lot of it's going to be how we dismantle Trump and if Trump's still around. Because if you've seen him at the G7, that man ain't looking good. He is not looking good at all. He looks bad. I mean, he can barely walk. He can barely talk. He's swollen everywhere. I swear his face still looks like he had a stroke.
His eyes are real
And
puffy.
so, well, puffy, and it's like, we're going to, and then they go, well, he's in a different time zone. He's having a hard time. Yeah, you didn't say it about Biden, who did that. Okay? No, you didn't say that about Biden. Fuck you. And he is going to, I don't know if he'll make it to the midterms. Honestly. And if he doesn't, then all bets are off. What's going to happen? Because you have no protector. That's the thing. They have no protector at that point. They don't have the legend. They don't have the gravitas with him. Does that make sense? They're screwed. Bottom line
It
is.
makes sense. I'm just,
Yeah, so
I've got to the point now where something has to change, and it has to change fast because this shit's getting out of control.
well, I mean, it's not going to change fast. I mean, it's not, and the control is, I mean, it's just that he keeps talking shit, and they can't really do shit because every time they try to do shit, even people in Congress is turning against it. SAVAC died. They gave $70 billion more to ICE. Well, what is ICE going to do? They're just going to upset people even more. You do mass arrests of people protesting? How's that going to go for the midterms? You see, everything they do is going to blow up in their face. They're not going to change the narrative. They can't. Because their narrative has been hate and this and that, but it's been proven to be a lie. It's not helping people's life.
I want to know
Their
who the
lives are
person
coming
is
apart
that
economically.
hates him so much that they risk everything to get some kind of recording device into the skiff and then get it out of the skiff and hand it over to Maggie
They
Haberman.
don't. Well, no. That wasn't that. The Maggie Haberman thing is not that. What happened is that they, as soon as the Epstein files popped, as soon as they saw that, oh, this is not good. Oh, this is really bad. They had a White House meeting in the Situation Room over it. Basically, how to cover it
Right.
up. And it wasn't, they had one of the participants recorded the meeting. Someone took that recording to Haberman and the Times. They're in panic mode because that whole thing with Stephen Miller thing about getting rid of habeas corpus, and J.D. Vance during the height of the Minnesota protest, after Alex Peretti had been murdered, he went with Stephen Miller in tow to tell the president, hey, we need to do the Insurrection Act. We need to drop the military in there. Okay? And the only reason that happened because one of their attorneys, who's a fucking conservative, but wrote, you can't do it, wrote a memo and said you can't do it because only Congress can do that. That's Congress, the habeas corpus. And the Insurrection Act, bad idea. Okay? That came also from another recording. They have a mole, big time
That's
mole.
what I mean. I heard they did have one in the skiff, though. I don't know, how true it is, but they did say that
If they
some
got it in the
information.
skiff, good for them. That means there's a high-ranking official who did it. But
Exactly.
the recording of that meeting, if that's and with that book coming out, that's going to affect them big time because again, all the stuff about Epstein, they're going to do the investigations. Of course, nothing will happen because there's no DOJ at this time. There will be later. But it's going to affect everyone. And the other thing they're going to affect is that they had this meeting before Pam Bondi was kicked out. And Kash Patel sat in front of Congress and lied to Congress about, yeah, everything's good. No, he's not in there, blah, 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 blah. They're going to pay the price for that because they lied to Congress.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
think
where it's going to
Bundy
get
had something to
bad.
do with those recordings, just to be honest. But that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
me.
I mean, we're going to see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
No.
thing. There is going to be massive come to Jesus meetings with this. It's going to be huge because they're doing so much thinking they can get away with it. Hell, I just read that there's a possibility someone's investigating that there's a slush fund for the FBI that Kash Patel's been using.
Yes, I heard that.
He's skimming. He's skimming. This is like the fucking mob. You're skimming from the boss, man. Don't you skim from the boss? You know what happens.
You know exactly what happened. Well, you saw what that
Yeah.
dumbass did today, right? So he
Oh,
couldn't wait to take credit for solving the greatest caper on the White House lawn, that he opened his big fat mouth before the Secret Service had the opportunity to arrest the other 9 or 10 folks.
the
So
ones that
stupid.
supposedly doing a conspiracy
Yeah,
to
with the
go after the
drones.
Trump during.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck no. Do you believe that?
I
I
don't
don't
believe
believe
it
it.
one bit.
I
But
don't believe a
I
damn
mean,
thing.
they got some guy's mom says that her son was acting weird. He was buying a weird amount of pew pews, and they were having signal chats and all this other shit. Whatever.
Right. Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, some child is not going to plan the assassination. It's just stupid. We know what it is. It's distraction because the Iranian deal is not looking good. The economy's not good. And they still want to say, yeah, you see, the left is trying to kill the president. No, don't need that.
Nope.
Big Macs have done that. His
Yeah.
bad eating habits have done that. I mean, I ain't perfect, but I know one thing. After I get my surgery on June 30th, oh boy, that's going to be fun because so much for tacos.
Yeah.
I
None of
mean,
that.
I mean, I mean, so it's going to be whether I like it or not because my wife's going to make sure of it. But even I said that, and the point being is, he is all that you're seeing right now with Trump. I don't know how much it's going to last. He has just given everyone so much pain in his life, so much cruelty, so much misery. And I think that's coming back to haunt him because I think they're going to keep him propped up in ways that are cruel. You cannot tell me he's not full of drugs right now. No
Oh, I know it.
way. Okay. And it's all going to catch up with him soon because you can only prop him up so much more unless you're going to weekend and Bernie's him or go Howard Hughes and keep him in a bedroom and say, yeah, he's fine, like Nancy Reagan did with Ronald Reagan when he had his stroke and couldn't do anything the last part of his second term.
What I
Nancy
don't
Reagan was running
understand is
everything.
how can he live with himself being the world's the most hated man? You know what I mean? Like nobody
He
appreciates
doesn't
this.
he doesn't think he is. The fantasy is there. He believes everyone loves him. That's why he shows up in New York and says they love me. They cheered me. No, they didn't.
They did
That's why
not
his
cheer him.
family they didn't cheer him. No, that's why he shows up in Wisconsin with little bit how many people show up and gets upset at the reporter because she asked a very good question. All right, he doesn't understand why people question him, why people don't love him. I need to be loved. That's why on July 4th, if he's still with us, he's going to have a Trump rally for the 250th anniversary. Not to celebrate America, but to celebrate himself. Why? Because he needs it. That's why
Didn't he just
FIFA,
have that
like,
bullshit last weekend?
well, no, that was his birthday party.
Ugh.
Right. Yeah, but he's going to have this huge thing, and he's going to have a speech, and he's going to, and just like I'm listening to him, I'm going, yeah, there could be fireworks. I'm going, you sound like a kid. No one wants to go to your birthday party, so you're going to have a whole bunch of shit. And you get cake too. You know what I'm saying? And no one likes you. But we'll take the cake.
Oh,
Okay?
we'll definitely take the
Yeah,
cake, but you can go
yeah, I'll
on.
take the
Yeah.
cake. Thank you. I'm leaving. I mean, the point being is, he knows there's two parts of him. He thinks he's loved. He thinks that everybody loves him. Everyone will always love him. He's been loved all his life. Okay? That's why women love him, and they didn't love him. He made them love him. If you know what I mean.
Well, he took it.
That's why, yeah, and that's why he likes children because children love him and they're easy to manipulate, especially girls. That's why old men do that because they know women don't like him, and so they got to get what you can get. That's what these rich fucks do. That honest. Sorry, guys, truth. And if you're one of those guys, Republicans that say we should need child marriage, you got problems. Good God Almighty, you got problems. But we're dealing with a man who all his life was not loved. I think a video of Johnny Bananas made a good comment. They made fun of Kamala Harris because she laughed. Um, Obama had a great laugh. Have you ever seen Donald Trump laugh?
I don't think I've ever even seen him smile.
I mean, I've seen him do that cruel smile, but never, ever, just absolutely just break out and just laugh like crazy. Never,
Yeah,
ever.
fuck him.
Yeah. I mean, Bill Clinton did. He laughed. I mean, he had a sense of humor. Clinton had a sense of humor. Obama has a sense of humor.
Well,
Um,
Clinton played the saxophone, right? And then
right,
George W. had some other shit that he did. All of them
right.
had
I mean,
a hobby or something. This guy has
there's
no
no
hobby.
pets. No, he doesn't. You notice there's no pets in the White House? There's
Well,
no
because
pets.
the
It's his
dog would get
wife.
more attention than he would. That's why.
No, dogs don't like him. But they know. They can smell.
Yeah, they know it.
Dogs can, they know. They know. They know. I mean, that's the thing. It's just so. That's who we elected because I still haven't figured out. Looking on that, he just doesn't have any joy in his life, which goes back to when I started this live a while back. Is that's why when all of a sudden the Scots showed up and started to do stuff that made everyone smile, it's like everyone goes, "Oh, this feels good. I haven't done this in a while." No, we haven't. Because they keep us miserable and hateful. Because that's how they think they can control us.
That's
The
why I
point
enjoy
is,
myself
yeah,
because I
they have,
refuse to let them take my joy.
yeah. But a lot of us, it's like, and the thing about it is like, a lot of people haven't been happy, and people will say, well, the MAGA are happy because they're, no, MAGA are miserable. They're always miserable. They hate everything and everybody. And they, even though everything's going their way, they still hate everybody. That's all they got. And it just chews you up because you can't get beyond that. And your cruelty doesn't sate you. It never sates you. It's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, if you remember that curse. You can eat all you want, but you're not sated because there's nothing there.
Right.
That's it. They're just skeletons of people. There's nothing there. And they could do all these things. They can, hell yeah, this feels nothing
Do you think
because
his
you have
kids
no.
got pets? I don't think I've ever seen his kids like what dogs or whatever. You know what I mean? Like photos of them
We
or
are, yeah, that, if you're talking about people we have to keep an eye on, is the Trump family afterwards.
yeah.
Eric and Don Jr. and Ivanka and her sugar or that people, we have to keep an eye on, and Barron, because there will be people using them to kind of like they did in the old at the end of the Russian Empire
Curry
to bring
favor.
back the Tsar. Yeah, to
Yeah.
try to bring back the Tsar, to try to bring back Trump to power. From what I heard about Barron Trump, he ain't all there. He's drank the Kool Aid of the cult. And so what I'm going to say to him, he's that, dude, you're going to pay the price. I mean, he didn't. I just when you live in that toxicity, I mean, what can you do? Also, let's be honest. They're just already saying that Melania worked for Epstein. That's not good.
They got
That's not
photos.
good at
I
all.
mean,
No,
so
no, I mean, what she really worked for Epstein.
that's what I mean. Yeah, there's got to be some truth to it.
Yeah,
If it
so
wasn't, they wouldn't go through these lengths of covering this shit up.
yeah, and all this is leading to a reckoning that's going to come in parts. The first reckoning is November. We take the House and the Senate, or at least just the House, and we start putting pressure on them.
Yep.
The second reckoning is going to be all the hearings we have. They're not going to be able to get away with a lot of stuff they thought they can get away with. Then comes the next election where we really start putting the screws to them because there'll be nothing left of them to protect. Because people are going to start to see they took everything from us. Yeah, in order for us to fix it, we need it all. We have to get it
But you
all.
know what, though, Will? I think we need to see somebody go to jail. That's what we need,
Yes.
right? If we don't see that, then I don't think it's going to matter. If the
Well, it's kind of
Democrats
hard for
don't,
us to send them to jail. It's kind of hard to send them to jail when the DOJ works for
I
Trump.
know it. I know
And that's the thing. And the thing about it is we can shame them best we can. Hopefully, like Howard Lutnick was a known Epstein person on the island, brought his family, brought his kids, brought his daughters, which disturbs me to many ends, and is still sitting in his position. We need to get those people to start resigning. That's what we need. We need to put so much pressure that they start imploding on their own. We bring out everything and show them, how can you exist like this? You need to resign. Or start impeachment process on like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Let's impeach him. Impeach that motherfucker. Yeah, he needs to go. Let's start impeaching him.
Yeah, impeach and remove.
Yeah, impeach and remove. If we get both houses, we can do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. And force him to put other people in there. I mean, we cannot, honestly, we're not going to get any legal, jail time that. But we can remove him from power.
I just want to hear from somebody who's got some fucking sense, right? Not somebody who's telling me to, never mind.
No, you can say the vaccinations, they put RFK in charge of special education. That dumbass. The one who thinks aspirin causes autism and wants everyone's medical records so they can find out the cause of. I don't know what his problem is with autism. Dude, what? What happened? I mean, with him. And the thing about it's like, there was an article in the New York Times about whooping cough coming back. Pertussis. And things are starting to pop up like mumps. And the measles are everywhere now. Measles have been outbreaking. They're gone. They're up and running again because people don't get their vaccinations.
Well, think about
because
this.
They're.
Let's just say the 2000s. I'm not going to go back to the 60s and the 2000s. If you had somebody running for a position, he actually was running for president, but it was known that he used to sniff heroin off of toilet seats.
Right.
Wouldn't that have been an automatic disqualifier?
It used to be. A lot of the shit he did, it used to be. And I'd still Bill Cassidy, hey, how'd that fucking work for you? He should have voted against RFK, but he was trying to protect himself from Trump because he voted for the impeachment. So he let that get through RFK Jr. get through the committee doing Trump a solid. And what happened? He fucked you. And you are responsible for what we're seeing. And the other thing is, Mehmet Oz, fucking hack. Whack. All right? And the thing about it is, they talk about why people need Medicare and Medicaid. They go, well, if people lived more healthier lives, they wouldn't need it. Fuck, dude. Cancer doesn't give a fuck. Cancer will show up if your body fat is less than 1%.
Look at those little kids in St. Jude's Hospital. They're young.
Right.
Cancer doesn't care who it attacks.
Right. I mean, and other things. And just listen to these guys. I mean,
Lydia,
that's the
they
first one
closed
I
their
would
ears
do.
also. Lydia said the Republican closed their eyes to
they closed their eyes. And here's the thing. They've taken apart the CDC. They've taken apart NIM. They've taken apart all the science. Why? Because they don't. They said, well, they don't trust them. No, because they're a threat to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is a fucking threat. And that's the problem with these people. All of them. Every one of these cabinet members are incompetent assholes. And the truth threatens them. That's why they get rid of why their departments have been decimated, because they got rid of people who could do their job, which they consider a threat. Competency is a threat to the incompetent who have power.
Well, you know what, man? What nobody's talking about is all that dismantling that they did and all of the programs that Elon got rid of that was investigating him and all of that shit. Mm-hmm. And now he's the world's first trillionaire. That just went over like, nothing. Like it didn't happen. That's crazy.
And it's fake money because that's the IPO of SpaceX.
No,
trust me,
but still.
It ain't gonna last long. Fuck him. And you know where he spent that money? In Belfast with the race riots. Nice. The burning out of immigrants. And he's there urging it. Niall Fargen, Tony Robbins, those guys in class. For what? For one murder? Hey, they took care of that. It's ridiculous. And
What
they
the hell is Tony
burned
Robbins
out.
doing over there?
Not Robinson. He's a conservative asshole, far
Oh,
right.
that.
And yeah, not Tony Robbins. No, not him. My apologies. He's one of them. But they were just encouraging it. We have to take our country back. From whom? What? And the British government responded like, oh, what we can do? You got mass motherfuckers burning down neighborhoods, and you don't know what to do? I mean, and it's just, they were attaching people in the streets. It's the same thing they did here with, like, not to an extent, but like here in Georgia with the Lincoln Riley thing. Yeah, it was horrid. The guy was arrested and going to jail. But that doesn't mean that everyone of color is that. That's what they did. And the other thing, like conversely, that black guy, the black kid that was murdered by that Asian store owner, and they acquitted him. I saw that. That was Latasha Hawkins in L.A., where that lady shot her because she was trying to get some orange juice.
Well, that wasn't his
Okay?
first shooting, correct? I
No, it
think they said
wasn't.
he had
And
two others or
you
something like
acquitted him. And like, hi, member to the Asian community. They don't like you. They don't. You were part of that whole thing that got rid of affirmative action at Harvard. Do you know you're thinking that you're going to get it? No, they don't want you either. You're finding that out, aren't you? And then I saw that. I'm going, how can you acquit him? I saw the video. The kid didn't have a weapon. It was a bottle of water. You went and instigated that. And now
that. And
you
he
have
didn't
the
even take the
gall.
water, no less.
Right. And now you have the gall to just, unlike a lot of African American communities, we're not going to buy from you. And they're going, fine, we'll just go somewhere. No. There's one scene in Sinners that I always thought, and I did some history. That scene where they stabbed that store to both sides of the street, run by the Asian family.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? And the black community is there. They have black community on one side and the white community on the other. One guy who's a historian on TikTok made a good point. Chinese restaurants, Chinese businesses were always serviced by blacks because they felt safe there.
Yep.
Okay? It's just recently, for some reason, they've turned on them. I mean, it's been for a while. I mean, I remember, again, when the riots in New York, the riots in L.A., the Rodney King riots, a lot of Korean-town and businesses got burned out. It was bad because that was really a lot of bad stuff because they were in black communities and they didn't relate well to the populace, so it was a confrontational thing. That's still there, and killing that kid and getting away with it. I'm like going, and then his store got trashed, and everyone's going, well, that's horrible. Why did they do that? You tell me.
Because
When
they're tired of him shooting people for water. That's why. And the little
Right.
boy was running away. And here's the thing about
Yeah.
this. They assumed he stole the water. He put the water back. He didn't have a weapon on him. And then they chased him. He's running away, and they shoot
Right.
him in the back in the field.
Right.
So,
And how he got away with it, I have no idea. No, I know how, but and the same thing in L.A. I remember that Natasha Hawkins, she was getting the orange juice. She was opening her backpack, not to put the oranges. She was looking for something, and the lady attacked her, and she just dropped the orange juice, and then she killed her
let's
for
just
no
say
reason.
the kid. Let's just say the kid did steal the water. Let's just say he flat out stole that water. But does he deserve to die over it? It doesn't matter what color you are, right? That's what we have the police for. You go to jail, you serve your
Right.
time, and you move on. You don't
Yeah,
die
you're not
over
going to
a
judge. Yeah, you're not Judge Dredd. Fuck
Right.
you. And not even Judge Dredd. We're going to put someone in execute someone for a bottle of fucking water. What is it, $3? If the most, 5 probably, because it's a
Exactly.
gas station. I mean, and the point is, that was that man who has done it before. How they convinced the jury, I want his fucking lawyer. How? Wow. How? Because that was amazing. He got all that with a
Yeah,
pass.
right.
Of course, this pass is not supposed to be part of the current prosecution, but nothing pointed for him to use deadly force.
This
Nothing.
guy was running away from you,
Yeah.
right? You
And
can,
again, that was in what state? What state was that in? That was in shit.
I forget,
Oh God.
somewhere down south. But here's the thing:
Down
even
south? No.
if you come into my house and you steal from me and you start running out of the door, I can't do anything because you're leaving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you're running out, Indiana says, "Hey, he, you didn't exercise judgment." Now, if we're still in the house, that's different. But if you're leaving, running away, I can't do anything. I'm at fault.
I mean, it's like that black kid in Louisiana who hit the wrong doorbell, and the guy shot him on his porch.
Hmm.
And there was no threat there. He just rang the wrong doorbell, and they went to stand your ground. Why? He was on your porch ringing your bell. He wasn't a threat to you. I mean, again, people are so weird. I mean, Saturday, LAPD killed a dog. Okay.
Yes, I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
All because she
And
was celebrating.
because she was celebrating and someone called the cops because they thought she was in. First of all, neighbors, just knock at the door. But basically, what's coming down and is that they went in, they knocked at the door, they didn't hear anything. She opened the door and the dog charged out. Okay, it's a 2-year-old doodle. And you shot the dog because it was a threat. A doodle.
Killed him.
And killed him in front of the lady. There was no reason for this. There was no reason for 20 cops to be there at Canoga Park on a Saturday. I, who lived in the San Fernando Valley, know that LAPD has a lot more things to do on a Saturday than show up for a noise complaint.
The dog had
And they
on
shot
a Knicks jersey.
just and they had some guy like in the report saying, "Well, he felt threatened." Police, no, it's their training. LAPD has been gun happy forever. That's
Shoot
always
first.
been their thing. Always shoot first. I did a video on this. I thought of an old Saturday Night Live bit with John Belushi. Was like a take on Adam 12, the old TV show.
Right.
And these two, him and I think it was Don Aykroyd, were two LAPD officers, and they were just shooting everybody. They knocked at this guy's door and goes, "Yeah, LAPD police, yes sir." He opens the door. How can I help you? They shoot him right there, just lay him out,
Boom.
and boom. And then John Belushi looks down on the body and looks up at Dan Aykroyd and goes, "Chinese sound good for lunch?"
Yeah, I saw that.
Because that's what they are. That's what they were. That's what they have been, and they're trained like that. What you telling me that you can't just kick? If it was a threat, you could have kicked them. Would have been bad, but the dog would have been alive. You could explain it
Just
away.
move, just move out of the way.
Move.
Like I've got a golden doodle, right? Bit just like that dog. And they are
Uh-huh.
hyper. But he's not gonna bite you. He's gonna love
Right.
you to death.
And they say, "Oh, you bit him." Still. And this is just how they're trained, and this is a sadness. One of those things that makes you sick because this is bad training. This is people not being shown what they did. And then before in San Bernardino cops they're looking for a stolen vehicle. He enters someone's yard without a warrant. There's a Rottweiler in there.
I
The
saw
Rottweiler
that.
didn't even threaten him, and he shot the Rottweiler. And nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen to that cop. Nothing's going to happen to what happened to LAPD because they're
The Rottweiler
excused their
was
way
just
out
doing
of
his
it.
job. You're not supposed to be in my yard. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you got a warrant, I would know about it and I would put the dog up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And it's just, but those are the things that drive people. That's what sucks the joy out of life right now in this world. Because the idea of that everyone's a threat to you is what we're at.
Right. Well, think about this. How big that dog was, right? It was a big boy. And he had on, like I said earlier, a Knicks jersey.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
adorable.
tells me
It's
right
picture.
there that that dog is easy to handle because you're not
Right.
going to get a jersey on a dog that big if he's vicious because he'll bite the
No.
shit out
Looked like he was digging it.
you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
I mean,
it's
and
crazy.
that's things that happen when they're not held accountable. Where training is shoot first, ask questions later.
Well, that's
Where
why I say we need to
training
start seeing some people go get locked up. Like Trump said,
and
lock them up.
right. Yeah, and the thing about it is like you just silly. And someone lost their family member because of it's just a dog. Well, no, fuck you. It's a family member.
There's a guy down in your
That's
comments that should be locked up, but I'm not going to mention no names.
which one?
Jerry.
Okay. Anyway, it is pushing 10:30. I've been on this almost 2 hours and I can't believe it. So I got to get ready for the rest of the night. Thanks, T, for showing up. I appreciate you. You're probably going to go live later. Hey, guys, thank you for showing up, for stuck around. And Argentina's now up 2-0 on Algeria. You can find me here at RJ127 on TikTok. If you missed a live, I'm going to put it up on Substack and Binder38US Substack and on YouTube at Binder38US at YouTube. Email me at kumquat6, KUMQUAT6 at outlook.com. You can text me at 470-236-2403. I have a paid subscription on Substack. If you want to support my work, go ahead and join there. If you really want to give me a one-time donation, that would just help me out. Email me or text me, and I'll send you my PayPal link. That'll help me out because in a couple of weeks I'll be out of work for about a month. But that being said, thank you for listening. T, thanks for popping in. You guys have a good rest of the evening, and you all be safe, okay?
I see you.
Later.